Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Saturday morning, and this one feels a little different because today is the last day of Colorado Buffalo's fall camp here in Colorado Springs. Later today, we head back to Boulder. But before anybody packs a bag, before anybody gets comfortable, before anybody gets back to the condos, the apartments, the restaurants, the TVs, the DoorDash, the girlfriends, the friends, and everything else Boulder has waiting on them, Coach Prime got one more thing for him. Full pads. Even officials are here. And Coach Prime already told us what time it is.
We ain't taking no place off. We ain't out here but an hour. We ain't out here but an hour. Lion, we ain't out here but an hour. I want you to whoop them and I want them to whoop you. All right? We gonna go at it today. We gonna tackle today. We going full tackle today.
Oh, we hitting. But before we get into any of that, something happened this morning that tells me Coach Prime is already starting to get the answers he came to Colorado Springs looking for. Remember what Prime told these players when camp started? We don't know who's starting. We don't know who we can trust. Camp is where we learn it. Well, apparently Coach Prime has learned something because this morning, the first leader of this 2026 Colorado Buffaloes team has been selected. And when I tell you who it is, some of y'all are going to be surprised. It ain't the quarterback. It ain't a five-star receiver. It ain't a linebacker. It ain't one of the names everybody spent all offseason talking about. And remember, Coach Prime doesn't really do captains. He does leaders. He does dogs. And somebody has officially earned the right to put that D on the jersey. We're going to talk about who earned it and, more importantly, why. Because I think the identity of the first dog tells you something about what Coach Prime values on this football team. But first, to understand why that D matters, you got to understand what happened over these last 6 days. Because this trip was never really about Colorado Springs. It was about removing everything except football. Coach Prime removed the distractions. He removed the comforts, put everybody in the dorms, including himself, and basically said, now let me see who you really are. And 6 days later, we're starting to get some answers. So let's go back where this thing started and take it day by day. Monday, day one. And I told y'all then, this was my 7th day one covering Coach Prime football team. And I dare to say it might have been the best one ever. Were they perfect? Hell no. It's day one. There was some ring rust because being in shape and being in football shape are two different things. But the energy was different. The organization was different. The urgency was very different. And immediately, little things started jumping out. Yaya Atia intentionally being first in drills. Juju Lewis communicating with receivers when something wasn't right. The defense bringing that energy. And that running back room. I told y'all earlier, watch Michael Welch this year. But the biggest thing I noticed wasn't one player. It was the environment. Coach Prime had taken away the escape routes. No running back to your comfortable place after practice. No getting lost in your own little world. You practice together, you eat together, you hurt together, you recover together, and then you wake up and do it again. Coach Andre Hart gave us the perfect word for it. Discipline. And not just eliminating the distractions you want to eliminate the distractions, period. And that was just Monday. Then Tuesday came, and Coach Prime wanted more. He wanted more energy, more urgency, more physicality, and he got it. And y'all remember what I said. There are two ways you know football camp has really started. Either the pads come on or somebody gets mad enough to fight. Well, the pads weren't on yet, but somebody got mad and they did fight. So I said Wednesday must really be day one. But here's what's important about that. Thursday, Coach Prime basically confirmed that point. He said you're going to see skirmishes. You're going to see fights. And if you don't see some of that, something's wrong. Because competition is supposed to create tension. Prime said he was pleased with the effort. Now, don't misunderstand me. Nobody wants foolishness. But when jobs are on the line, and when playing time is on the line, when starting spots are on the line, when Georgia Tech is waiting on that ass September 3rd, I better see some dudes who care. And Tuesday, we started to see that. Wednesday is when the shoulder pads came on. And now football started sounding like football. Pop, pop, pop. The running backs continued to impress me. The battle at center started heating up. The defensive energy continued and the competition started getting real. But Wednesday wasn't just about what happened on the practice field. We got another glimpse into what this week was really about when the team went over to Air Force Academy. Think about that. Young men preparing to play college football, visiting young men preparing to serve their country. Different missions, same words. Discipline, sacrifice, accountability, team. Coach Prime talked about how impressed he was with those cadets who have to do just to be there. And watching our guys and their guys interact, you can see why that visit mattered. All right, Coach, now this time we're on your home field, your turf. Why was it important to invite Coach Prime and his team out here to see how you guys get to work?
Well, I mean, we're so fortunate to have an impact on young people. I think we realize not only the power of education, but we're in the man-building business. We all are. And there's some values there that we want to impart that help them when they're done playing football. And I admire and respect so much the way you guys do it at the University of Colorado, and certainly that's our pursuit here at the Air Force Academy too.
And why is it important, deeper than that, for these players to get together by position groups and get to know each other?
Well, just the quality of a human being, to connect, to lock eyes, and how much you learn from one another and how much you admire one another. And a lot of times all it takes is just a little bit of open lines of dialogue.
Yeah, and maybe this could be the start of something bigger. We're neighbors, we're not that far apart. Two universities could do some more stuff together.
I'd love to. We should. There's too much we can learn from each other and help each other that way. Yes, sir.
Coach, appreciate you. Then Prime took us on to learn as a team event to the movies. An unreleased movie, a little reward, a little bonding time, because can't just be about somebody beating up somebody. You're also trying to build a team. Thursday gave us something else. Coach Prime finally sat down and talked with the media. So let me give y'all some of that wood from that day. Because Prime said something Thursday that I think explains this whole damn week. When we recruited mentality. Mentality, not just size, not just stature, but where somebody transferred from didn't matter. Not how many stars were beside his name didn't matter. Not how many followers he got didn't matter, but the mentality mattered. And that's important because everybody spent the offseason looking at Colorado's roster on paper. Who transferred in, how many stars, where did they play, how many yards, how many tackles. Coach Prime is telling you, they were evaluating something else too. How are you wired? Because talent gets you recruited, talent gets you into camp, talent might even get you on the field. But when you're tired, when you're sore, when somebody across from you is just as talented as you, when it's the fourth quarter on the road, your resume ain't making that play. Your mentality is. Prime also talked about why he brought his team here to Colorado Springs. To get away, get far enough away that guys wouldn't even have the urge to jump in the car and run home. Phones monitored, living together, eating together, practicing together, meeting together, going to sleep, pause, together, waking up together. And only one thing on their minds, football, football, football. Prime said the team is learning each other. They're learning the coaches. They're learning the tempo. They're building relationships. And the players are saying the same thing. Ben talked about there being more intensity, more fire. Zach Atkins, talked about just how physical these practices have been. And Atkins made another point that I love. The offense and defensive lines established a standard for how everybody else practices. That is football. You can have all the pretty toys you want on the outside. You can have quarterbacks, receivers, running backs, DB, speed everywhere. But eventually, somebody has to move another grown man against his damn will. And Thursday, Coach Prime basically told us that's the mentality that he's looking for. Then finally came Friday, another day in pads. And by now, the bodies are sore, the legs are heavy. Everybody knows everybody's tendencies, and somebody is getting on everybody's nerve. But that's camp. And we even had another little situation after practice. And in true Coach Prime fashion, Prime let him settle it. And somehow, some way, that man orchestrated a tie.
I'm very proud of you. You only had, 2 fights today? Yes, sir. 2. 1 and a half. How many we had? 1 and a half. 1 and a half. Who won?
I ain't punched. What you mean by
That was the half of fight we talking about. He was scared.
He go bring back 20 yards, dog. Hold on.
Man, you can't fight.
Come on! Yeah, yo! Yeah, yo! Hey, look at him, he gassed. I want Johnson. That's flash. Y'all don't need no pep talk. Hey, man, the man defense up front. All right, let's go. He tied, let him go. He tied, No matter how fucked up defense is, we're all still brothers. At the end of the day, we're brothers. We're family. Family on two. 1, 2. Family.
Nobody won. But once again, look beneath the entertainment, the competition, the pride, the emotion. Guys fighting for jobs, guys fighting for respect, guys trying to show coaches, you can trust me. And that's where we arrive at today, Saturday, full pads. Full pads, officials, and Coach Prime says we hitting. Today we start finding out which guys can take everything we've talked about all week and do it when somebody else is trying to knock the hell out of them. No shorts, no shells, no shoulder pads only. Full pads with officials on the field. Real football situations. And one last opportunity here in Colorado Springs to establish yourself before this team packs up and heads back to Boulder. But remember what I told you at the beginning. Coach Prime has already started getting some answers. Because before today's practice even got going, Coach Prime has identified his first leader. And I've made y'all wait long enough. It ain't the quarterback. It ain't a receiver or a linebacker. It ain't one of the big name transfers. The first leader on this team.
Make sure he is who he is. Make sure he has the leadership, and he does. Mate, come on up front, baby. Hey, come on, mate. Race your team. Whoa, you a leader or a dog? Which one you want? Dog. Dog. All right, you got the key coming. All right, let's go.
The first leader on this team, the punter, Damon Greaves, or as Coach Prime calls him, mate. And if you're new around here, understand the language. Coach Prime doesn't really do traditional captains. He wants leaders, that's a L. He wants dogs, that's a D. And Damon Greaves has chosen to be a dog. So now that jersey is going to feature the D. And don't brush past that because he's a punter. Greaves has earned some credibility around here. He's from Bustleton, Australia. Before American football, this man played Australian rules football. He's 26 years old. He was drafted by Hawthorne. Eventually, he came to America and played college ball at Kansas, transferred to Colorado, and last season for the Buffs, Damo handled every single punt, 67 of them, and 43 holes. He averaged better than 42 yards per punt, put 15 punts inside the 20, had 13 punts that traveled at least 50 yards, and that 67-yard bomb against Delaware was the third longest punt in Colorado history. He earned all Big 12 honorable mention. Colorado's own spring preview described Greaves as the player who anchors the specialist room. But here's why I love Prime making mate the first dog. Leadership ain't supposed to be a popularity contest, and leadership damn sure ain't reserved for just the quarterbacks. If you're dependable, if you're accountable, if you handle your business, if your teammates can trust you, you can lead. And Coach Prime has praised that specialist mentality before. He's talked about those guys being players you can count on to do their jobs. Think about that phrase, you can count on him. That's one of the highest compliments a coach can give a player, because ability is wonderful, talent is wonderful, stars by your name are wonderful, highlights are wonderful. But football comes down to something much simpler, and that's trust. And remember what Coach Prime told these guys at the beginning of camp? We don't know who's starting. We don't know who we can trust. Camp is where we learn it. Well, 6 days later, apparently we've learned it. You can trust mate. And Damon Greaves has got the D on the jersey to prove it. And that's the story of Colorado Springs. Think about the progression. Monday, we saw potential. Tuesday, we saw emotion. Wednesday, we heard the pass. Thursday, Prime explained the mentality. Friday, the temperature rose. And Saturday, we hit. But here's the part nobody should miss. The team returning to Boulder is not supposed to be the same team that left Boulder a week ago. Otherwise, why come? Why sleep in those dorms? Why take the TVs away? Why monitor the phones? Why remove the distractions? Why leave behind Chef Carl Solomon's food? Hell, Ben told everybody the dorms were hot, there was no AC, and the food wasn't close to Chef Carl's, and it ain't. But then he told you why it mattered. Going through it together brought them closer, and that's camp. Coach Prime removed comfort so he could expose character. And now comfort is about to come back. Boulder's waiting on us. The condos are waiting, the restaurants are waiting, the TVs are waiting, the girlfriends are waiting. The friends are waiting, the distractions are waiting, but hopefully the discipline travels back with them. The brotherhood travels back with them, and intensity travels with them, and accountability travels with them, and most importantly, them dogs travel with them, because Colorado Springs wasn't the destination. September 3rd, Georgia Tech ATL Thursday night is the destination. And between now and then, Coach Prime has to figure out who he can trust when the lights come on. Today, we hit. Today, we compete. Today, we put officials out here. And today, we keep looking for that next jersey deserving, pause, the D. But the first one, that belongs to the Australian, the punter, to make, to Damo. Welcome to the doghouse. Now, somebody else, go on run. Good morning, and that is your morning wood. Let's go.